Sunday to you. It's September 6th, 2020. I have a baseball shirt on. You want to hear a funny story? Hope that looks good. I picked up this shirt a few weeks ago. I guess it was August 10th. And the only reason I know the exact day is because I saw an article or a story on my feed or something today that was talking about Iowa and the storms in Iowa. So I assume it's August 10th. I was at the Field of Dreams Stadium where they filmed the movie The Field of Dreams, the Kevin Costner movie from a while ago, 20, 30 years ago, I'm sure. The maybe 30 something. So there was a massive storm there, and I had to sit in the car while everyone basically sat in the car for almost an hour. I was doing work. I was updating the baseball algorithm file that day. Wanted to check out the stadium, but the weather was awful. That was the terrible storms in Iowa. Was the day that I got this shirt. So there you go. Anyway, it's Ken's Variety Hour today. Um, I have multiple things I'm working on. I always, months ago I was doing the baseball file every day when baseball started. Remember, we all had no sports for so many months, right? So baseball came back. We did this, and it's too difficult to update every day and get into every single day. But a day like today, when apparently there are no double headers, and I just ran an update. It's the first time I've done it in a few days, and so we have something. So I want to share it with those that care, and then we're going to go on to some other things that I'm working on that I'll be doing in future videos because I kind of want to show you. I want to plan out the day. I used to do a podcast years ago called The Daily Nooner. The Daily Nooner. And the goal of the Daily Nooner podcast was to put up information or put up media, right? Put up something every day by noon because it's a good schedule to have. And it's just a funny term. I'd like to do that with the YouTube videos so that every day I kind of lay out what we've accomplished from before and also what we're moving forward on because there are so many different applications. And depending on what you're watching, you may know me from one of multiple different reasons that we've worked together or you've watched something. So we'll talk about baseball for a couple minutes and then we're going to move on to stocks and then we're going to move on to molecular biology. And then that'll probably be the day here. So for baseball, um, I don't care about this. And most of you who paid me for this daily updates of things realize that I'm not going to be reliable, not going to be able to do it, and nobody's really been bothering me too much. You guys have all been super nice. Thank you. However, I still know you want the information. So I did update today. It took me about a half an hour, and I'm not fully complete. And I want to explain some things about if I want to hand this off to someone or something else, because this is going to be a recurring problem where I'm going to be working on something, you guys are going to want it. I'm going to try to fill the void and produce the product for you every day. But if it's something that requires a lot of attention, I may not be there for you, right? This requires a lot of attention, and I'll explain why. First of all, for the games today, is anything popping out? Well, we agree with Vegas on a lot in order up here. What that generally means historically is that both of us are right, both Vegas and us are right, and probably a lot of these 6 or 7 games are going to win. So that's the one thing I see from this. We got Philly over the Mets for some reason. I'll look at why we have the dog there. And then we got some dogs down here where we're probably right on like 2 out of 4 of these at least. So these are some good underdog picks, probably. That's what I can say from glancing at this. However, you got to take a deeper dive at why things are happening. For example, this Toronto Boston game, you got a bunch of pitchers with no wins and no losses because we're still early in the season. See this? This is crap. This is terrible. This means that we're getting a distorted view of pitching stats because somebody's lost 100% of their games. And they actually, he's actually been traded to Boston from a different team. His ERA is 9. His ERA is 14. Although Harvey's a mess. But I think that's the Harvey from the Mets previously. Anyway, point is you really have to dig deep into this to understand if the information the algorithm is taking in is accurate or distorted. And I don't have time to do this every day. So that's why I'm going to cut this off and say, if you care about this, I'm posting it up. But there's no plans to continue doing this with any degree of attention throughout the rest of the year. There's too much. Plus, there's football coming up and I can't. I don't even know why I haven't been attacked with emails about football yet. But I have picked up a bunch of subscribers or a handful of subscribers in the last week, and I think it's because of football. So of course we're gonna have to do football again. So there's just zero time for baseball. So understand that that's coming and is already here. But if you're gonna do something today, look at that. Have fun. Now, I said we're gonna talk about stocks. Okay. The reason why I want to talk about stocks is there's no sense in time. There's no reason to waste time trying to guess on baseball when you can enter what's almost I don't want to say it's a sure thing, but it's certainly things are going in a direction when it comes to the stock market. And there's a lot of extra money coming into the market from the Federal Reserve, like directly through bonds and even stock purchases and stuff that BlackRock is administering. Um, they are putting money into the market. And even though your stockbrokers, your people that are way up at the top that are going to be getting a ton of profit from all this, aren't going to take it all out. They're going to continue to reinvest. So overall, the aggregate of the market is going up. So what that means is if you are buying into stocks, buying shares of stocks is the safer, less volatile route to making money. However, buying options on stocks is a very rapid way to make a tremendous amount of money and return on your investment, given that the market is accreting or going up when it comes to the big caps that people trust. And my favorite, of course, like when we sort this, when I grab this information from pivot tables and all this place where I grab stock information, if you grab, forget about this, go grab just the company name at the top, and we're gonna sort these company names by, um, let's say, let's sort it by average. I don't know. Hold on a second. More sort options. We want to do descending by average and max, maybe, or ascending. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. Yeah, Cirrus Logic. I got to look them up. I don't even know what that's about. I thought Tesla was going to show up as number one, and they almost do. They really should. And I'm going to talk about Tesla. I'm not going to talk about Cirrus Logic. I don't remember other semiconductors. They must have had a massive drop recently. That's probably what happened. My old max buy price is wrong. Anyway, point is I keep a bunch of information about a bunch of stocks in here. And I use it so that when anybody asks me about a stock, one, I've probably already heard of it because I went through this list of like 3,500 stock tickers, one by freaking one by one. This is what every stockbroker must do this. Like that must be like hazing when you become like a broker or whatever, is you go through every ticker on the Dow and the NASDAQ and you look them up. You look at their financials, you look them up. I haven't reviewed everyone, but I definitely glanced at everyone to get the name proper, even though I know that some are wrong still. Because things keep changing. This thing changes every freaking second. Some company will stop trading for a while. Some ticker will change. People will go bankrupt. People will split. There's all kinds of insanity that's going on all the time. You talk about, see why I don't have time for baseball? Because you got this going on all day, right? We didn't have anything other than the stock market for several months as everything closed down during the quarantine, right? Or during the period that we didn't do stuff. Whatever that Rona time is called. Um, and we're still sort of in it. So point is I want to talk about Tesla for a second. Talk about them a lot, but something has happened right now that makes them super interesting. So they split, right? They went from $2,300 or 2,200 something. They closed at the day of the split. They went down to 442. I think they opened up at after the 5-to-1 split. They went all the way up to 500 the first day, and then people took crazy profits, and now they sit at 418, having some dips on Friday down even into 375 range or 380 range. Kind of didn't really hang out there too long, but it stayed below 400 for a little while. But it didn't really stay below 400 for long, and there was no fear of it really dropping down to like 300. It never got super close. So what's interesting about Tesla is, one, they're the future. Um, I know people that own Teslas. Every time I see one in the car, I'm with my son and I go, Tesla. And we look over, and I like that I say Tesla a lot more than I used to, even just a year ago. I see them all the time now. They are the future. Um, Getting rid of gas. Gas sucks. I mean, you ever get behind a car that's burning gas, doesn't have like a catalytic converter in it or something, or doesn't have isn't functioning properly, and its exhaust is choking you? Um, on a micro level, we're doing that even with the cars today that are super fuel efficient. We should all be driving vehicles that do not burn anything, given environmental changes and everything else. We're getting there. Pushing Tesla, as well as seeing that their product is superior to old combustion vehicles, makes it obvious that's the direction we're going. They're already swallowing up other auto companies in their market cap. Consumer discretionary, sort of. It's also it's not really globally discretionary anymore. I'm a parishioner at Church Elon, our Savior. That is how I put it. You should be buying them definitely in the near term if they're below 500. And now that they were hanging out around 400, it makes it really interesting because the people that invest in Tesla don't do so simply because it's a good financial decision. They do so also because they want to root for that future to happen. It's the future positive. Um, so now that they are artificially low due to everybody that shorted them after or before or around their split because they went up so much from 1650 to essentially almost 2500, really 2300 ish. 1600 to 2300 in 2 weeks, 1600 2000 in 1 week, the announcement of the split. Given that they jumped so much, those analytical minded smart hedge fund managers are like, well, when something goes up that much, historically people are going to take profits. So it's a good idea for me to short that darn Tesla, shouldn't I? I should short them. So a lot of people did that. And a lot of people did that right around when they were at 2000. And that's right around 400 now. 2000 divided by 5 is 400. So around 400, you'll see a lot of this activity for a little while as the shorts, those people that think that Tesla is going to go down or are betting against them, that they will hang out trying to get some value, trying to see Tesla drop down to almost 300 if it can. Problem is, retail investor and people like myself and people that have a brain and care about the world understand that rooting for Tesla is the way to go. And the only reason you sell Tesla is because you are planning on immediately buying it back in the near future for some reason. That's the only reason you sell this stock. So the fact that they're at 400 now makes them artificially low as hell for 418. And if you want to make money, I would buy an option, a long call option on Tesla, all out for a few months, like December or something, at $500 a share. You will make money. You will make money along the way. That's going to be like a $7,000 option or something, but it's worth it. Hey, you want to go the other way? Try selling puts on Tesla. Sell a put of Tesla at $350 a share, way out of the money put. It'll never get down there. They'll never go below 400 again as soon as the shorts that are in there now get out of there because they're a future plus company. So what's funny is that this is available to all of us. Let's remember that the Federal Reserve is pumping $6 or $7 trillion into the market, bleeding it out over months. So remember that's happening. That money is going to swell and that money is going to go somewhere just like water. It goes the path of least resistance. Least resistance is the companies that are starting to make more profits as they grow now and are the companies of the future. Tesla fits the bill, hires all the best engineers. I will continue to say they're awesome. We won't do too much more stock talk, but there was, some profits taken last week. The market is not going to crash. If it crashed, Trump would swoop in with more Federal Reserve money and scream at Jerome Powell with his orange wand and be like, Powell, how did the market drop 3,000 points yesterday? You better put another $2 trillion in immediately and buy this, and this. Oh, there will be some impacts of Trump getting angry, though. He's trying to sue Google. He's trying to break up Google, which makes Google Alphabet here a little scarier long call option bet right now. As you can see, they dropped all the way to 1591. They were over 1,700 earlier in the week. They took some huge hits, even way more volatile than normal for them. That's because the DOJ and the criminal attorney general. That's right. I called the attorney general a criminal. He is a conspirer with Trump and the Russians, obviously, to destroy the United States justice system. He will be locked up as soon as we get him out of there. Should be arrested right now. I think the House should hold him in contempt, arrest his ass, throw him in the basement. He's lied enough under oath that he should go to jail. Okay, go right ahead. Anyway, that guy is spearheading a lawsuit against Google to try to break them up. Now, that will not be successful in a couple months here while we wait for an election, but I mean, it's going to hurt their stock price because they're going to throw some legal weapons at Google, and they're not going to do it to Facebook. So if you're one who's not going to, Zuckerberg wants to be friends with this. So as much as I hate investing in Facebook, they're probably going to succeed even more so during this period. So if you want to buy a long haul, I hate them. I hate this company. I dumped their account, but I have to tell you to buy them because they're going to go up. I hate them. Hate them. I wish Zuckerberg I wish there was another service, another like social media service that Zuckerberg had to use because it was better than Facebook and he wanted to have relationships with people on it. And the person who ran that service like grabbed his like dick pics and then posted them online for everybody, being like just in the most compromising shit ever. I hope that that happens to that guy because he does that to, I shouldn't say he does that. I do not know that he threatens people with their pictures. I do not think he's ever done that. He could. I don't think he has. I think that he's. I think that he is. Uh, I think that he has a certain type of autism or something on the spectrum that really makes him enjoy the power and the control, and therefore he never wants to give it up. So maybe even if his motivations aren't sinister, his desire to protect all his power and his ability to dive into anyone's life who's on Facebook and learn whatever he wants through their private messages, but he can totally do that. There's no law saying he can't do that because he freaking runs the company. It's got more, he can do whatever he wants. So it's a really weird situation with them. I dump them and I love it, but how, they still have cookie trackers on probably my browsers and things just due to the history of the connections they've made when I used them for years. So you can never even really escape them. So the thing that the Justice Department is going to kind of claim that has a little bit of basis to it, which is when you look back at Google, how do you escape Google in your life? The answer is if you work at all online, you can't escape Google. If you don't have their email, um, if you don't use their maps because you're an Apple user or something, at some point you had to get a Gmail probably, or you got Google Home in your house, or just there's all kinds of things you can never get away from them, or somebody in your family's got it, and then therefore you're tracked through the family IP address. Like you cannot escape it, and so if Google wanted to ruin you, like let's pretend that Trump's ridiculous criticism has some validity to it, which is the reality of Google search on Trump always comes up with negative things because the overwhelming sentiment about him is negative. Most people have a negative opinion of him. This is true for valid reasons. He lies all the time and only cares about himself. So a lot of people don't like you when you act like that. Now, well, if Google has taken the position, because almost everybody at Google has a brain and they don't like him, um, then how's that going to influence your algorithm writing? Is there any way to search and find something positive about Trump other than being directed to his own media? I mean, I don't know. I would say Trump, stop being such an asshole, and then maybe your Google will get better. That's what you're supposed to do. Now, the other thing I was going to talk about in today, I said molecular biology. I mean, how many minutes are this are we into now? 18. So another reason I want to focus on baseball. So this is the coronavirus. Um, I sorted out all this stuff and I've been working with the genes of the coronavirus just for fun. Why not? To figure out how amino acids combine together and the order of things, and if we can learn something through, um, like I've got different strains of the virus in order by base pairs. I'm not going to go into a huge lesson on microbiology and everything cellular, all that stuff. I don't even know enough about it to totally do that, but I do know how to organize data, and it's fun to take this and let's open up all the genes for a second. One of the things we're doing, the human race is doing, is going through what we think are orders or stuff of the virus. Like these are actually names of different parts of the order of the virus. You can see that the S gene is here. We should put these in order. There's an order by gene I can do here. Order on gene. Yes, there we go. Really? I think that's right. What is the one? Oh, right. There's so much going on here. I don't totally know how to use what I've built. Oh, no, I don't want that order on gene. I want something else. C order. I think that's it. Haven't worked with this file in a while, but I wanted to. Interesting. So annotating the genomes of things. and figuring out their structures on the molecular level is actually a really awesome, fascinating puzzle. And given computing power as it is today, and also the free flow of knowledge and information, like I would never have figured this out, that the three amino acids together form these different shapes. Like TRP, that's tryptophan, I think. I got a matrix somewhere. Hold on, where is it? Um, is it tryptophan? Tryptophan, TRP. Um, there's so that's a shape. Like that looks like two. Like imagine you were kind of throwing that trying to lasso something. You could get like two heads of cattle in there of different sizes. This tryptophan thing right here. Like this stuff like plays itself out in almost a Lego fashion down at the molecular level or a really tiny nano level in your body. So okay, well there's so this shape's coming out of some of the stuff, and then this shape's coming out, and this look at that, that's funny. Like there's all kinds of stuff here, right? Well, how does how that combines into a structure and stuff can actually be mapped out mathematically. And this virus isn't so big; it's only got like 30,000 characters of these bases. Amino acid is three of them. I've got these amino, like where is tryptophan? Tryptophan is W. You click W, you see, all right, here's where the distribution of tryptophan is. That key thing, guess what? It's in ORF1AB 68 times on codon 1. I've got different codons set up if you know what that means. You can click different codons and this would change, probably. No, it doesn't change. It's smart. Good. Um, so yeah, there's 68 uh, instances of tryptophan, 12 in the S protein, that's the spike gene protein thing. And you can also see like where are these on ORF1AB? And it stands for like open reading frame, I believe is what ORF means. So it's like it hasn't really been figured out what's totally going on in this thing and what shape it makes. But this is where it exists, I guess, on different, these are the base pair numbers in the order. And anyway, so the point of this is that um, point of that is this: designing antidotes, medications, neutralizing agents, all kinds of things for different viruses and different structures, and how those viruses or small genetic structures interact with our human body and our cells is a mathematical problem at its heart and can be addressed in a computational way. Now, one of the companies that I saw that was doing this is Schrodinger. I have talked very positively about Schrodinger in the past. Where are you guys? Your SDGR. Hold on, I think they're going to be here. They're at 50 something a share. They've dropped dramatically in share price. That was the point. That's why I want to bring them up. People are not recognizing their brilliance yet. Or maybe because I can do this in Microsoft Excel, what they're doing in their own computer program is just basically the same thing, and it shouldn't be worth $5 billion. It should just be an Excel file. The point is for whatever reason, there are companies that are working on doing this, and I see this as a solution to the problem that we have right now, which is fear of the tiny. We are super scared of a tiny little virus because it's blowing around and we can't see it. Am I spitting it out the camera right now? Doesn't now. Doesn't matter because it doesn't go through the camera to your face. But if I was in front of you and I was spitting out coronavirus all the time, you'd be scared that you can't see it and you'd get it, right? So that means we have to address this issue on the molecular level and fight the war at the dimension at which it exists. So a product like this is just much more important than who's winning a White Sox game today. So anyway, we're out for now. I got to run.